So this morning we will begin again with pranayama practice using some of the kriyas. We're also going to use a particular kind of chanting where we have the sound, we have the experience, we have the silence. And that's going to be a way to kind of measure, meter, to pace the breath a bit. So let's start with a simple quiet seat, please. You can rest your hands in your lap. Smile at your chance to be here with each other as well. And then you're welcome to close your eyes also. Yesterday I was talking in class about remembering and feeling into that which is precious. So just a note that since each of us is well enough to be here this morning, we might have a kind of low symptom level in our lives right now for mental health, physical health, logistical health, whatever that might be. Even if you are having some symptoms in your life, you're well enough to be here now. So we could value that wellness. You may not be at the peak of your well-being or the peak of your life, logistics, health, mind, and so on, but you're well enough to be here. And that we can consider to be a blessing. Of course, health is on a spectrum, and we're not saying, oh, I accept and value that I'm feeling well enough to be here, and therefore I don't have to keep growing. We're accepting or valuing that we're well enough to be here. And we also want to promote inner wellness and insight and understanding. And we want this not only for ourselves, but also for others. So lengthen up through your spine and start to move the breath through your inner body with that quality of awareness that here you are, you're well enough to be here. You're inspired enough to be here. You have enough logistics in your life to be here. You have enough dedication to be here. And then please join your hands at your heart. And we'll chant Sahana Vavatu together. Let's begin. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidveshavai Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, keeping your eyes closed. Bring your head up over your spine. And we'll go directly to the practices we've been doing. So beginning with bhastrika. A reminder that your pace has to be your own. And also the length of your inhale suspension has to be your own. I'm only giving a loose sort of middle of the road guideline here. Okay, let's begin. Now inhale through both nostrils up to the suspension. As you sustain the suspension, lift and brighten your chest and your heart. And then exhale through both nostrils. Exhale completely. Deeply relax. Okay, now we're going to do something from yesterday's practice. It's an 8-sip inhale, and you're going up to inhale suspension. So it's inhale, 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 inhale. No exhale in between. And you do it through the mouth like a little straw. It goes like this. Exhale through the nostrils. Repeat. Exhale both nostrils. Deeply relax. Bhastrika again. Inhale to suspension. Exhale both nostrils. Inhale to suspension. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale to suspension. Close the left, exhale right. Deeply relax. If necessary, you can blow your nose. And then we're going to do kappalabhati using Nadi Shodhana. So we'll close the right, 5 exhales left, then we'll go right, then we'll go 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, and then we'll go 1, 1, 1, back and forth. Beginning with the left nostril. Exhale. Inhale both nostrils up to suspension. Close the right, exhale left side. Inhale left. Suspend. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. And deeply relax. It may feel natural to have your attention, your inner sight, up at the 6th chakra between the eyebrows. Bring your hands together at your heart and rest your thumbs against your sternum as well as you can. So you're going to sense the vibration of this chant from the sternum, then it's going to go upwards through the throat and then into the upper palate, and then towards the roof of the mouth is the upper palate, and then towards the pineal gland and beyond. So we say beyond. So you place the thumbs, and the chant we're going to sing is simple. It's Hari Om. Hari Om. What I want you to be aware of is when you say the sound Om, it's comprised of A, U, M, and silence. Hari Om. So the A sound, the A, is going to be in the heart. Om. The U sound is in the throat. Om. And the M is in the upper palate. The lips come in, and the silence goes up to the mind. So place your thumbs. So it's going to be Hari Om going up, and we'll listen for that silence. By the way, I should say this. The last part of your exhale is still happening. It's in silence. And then there's the exhale pause. So let's try it together. Inhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Once more. Hari Om. So keep a little mental and physical memory of that. We're going to build on it later in class. And I'll give you more reasons and technique at that time. Okay, let's please come up to standing. I have to switch my camera, pardon me. Okay, come up to stand, and I'd like you to take a wide stance on your mat. We're going to do some of the hip opening poses from yesterday. I need to change the angle on my camera. Okay, so a wide stance about the length of one of your legs. And then come down to prasarita padottanasana. So let's begin this morning with the hands between the feet. So it's foot, hand, hand, foot. And your torso is in flexion. So this is your exhale breath, and I want you to use the curling of the torso to support the exhale, a little bit like the shape of the seashell called the nautilus. And then we're going to inhale and glide forward to open the body and receive the inhalation all the way up into the heart and the collarbones. Inhale and exhale through your nose. So exhale, bow down and in. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, glide down and in. And as you're pacing yourself, allow for the pauses at the top of your in-breath, the bottom of your out-breath. Be particularly aware of the exhale pause this morning, please. And in this moving practice, the exhale pause is not actually a suspension. You've toned the exhale and the lower belly all the way to the end. Then you make a smooth transition into your inhalation. And now we're going to start going side to side. So when you next exhale, you can put the hands underneath your shoulders. When you exhale, bend your right knee, glide down into your right heel, then inhale up to center. Exhale, go left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And remember that we're going back and down, not forward and down. So the hips go back and down. And inhale up to center. Exhale, go left. So it's back and down. Inhale, rise. Now we're going to go exhale to the right, pick up your right heel and roll your left toes up towards the ceiling. So the right leg squats and the left leg is long like this. And then inhale to center. Exhale, go left. Inhale, center. And now at your own pace, side to side. Let there be a little improvisation where you'd like. So this isn't fixed to a certain form here. If your balance is pretty good and your strength is clear, when you go down to the right, you can open your right arm. When you go up to center, you may need your right fingers again, but when you go down to the left, you can open the left arm. And let the breath still continue to be rhythmic with your movements. So if you add something like an improvisation, you don't lose the breath or the pauses in your breath. Remind yourself again that you're well enough to be here this morning, and having the bandwidth for spontaneity or improvisation is a really important part of daily life. As important as routine, actually, the benefit of having routine. Let's go one more time right and one more time left. And when you come back to center, then exhale, hands between your feet, so it's foot, hand, hand, foot. And inhale, glide your heart forward, place your hands on your hips, rise up to standing. Okay, now from standing, take your hands so that the fingers are going to point up and put them on the back of your pelvis. Yes, back to this one. I know some of you find this is getting easier. It's easier for me on Sundays, but not on other days. Okay, so in this position, squeeze your shoulders and your elbows back and bring your hips just forward in line with your toes. Okay, so that's a standing back bend. Go up with your heart and your collarbones. Okay, and then bring your head upright, bring your hips back in line with your spine. Okay, pivot both feet so that you're pointing to your right. Now it's a balance pose. You press down with your hands on the back of your pelvis, go up. So we want to have a sense that the heart's rising, but your left hip should feel strong and stable. In fact, you might feel the left hip flexors getting a little opening. And then exhale, bow forward. Try to keep your hands as they are. I know that's not easy. Inhale, glide up. And exhale, turn to center. And then turn to the other side. So if you have to, I have to, refresh the hand position. Turn your left toes forward, right toes in slightly. Roll the shoulders back, inhale to go up. So strengthen your right butt So you are opening your right hip flexors, not just your shoulders and your wrists. And then exhale and come forward. Do your best. Shoulders back, elbows back. And then inhale, glide up. Tone your right butt, press into your right heel. And then exhale to center. And release your hands. Swing them out. Let's go heel toe to center. Okay, I know you loved it. And so did your hands. And so did mine. Come to the front of your mat, please, for surya namaskar. Okay, palms together. Okay, come into your ujjayi breath. And let's begin. Inhale, virabhadrasana. Okay, utkatasana. Inhale, rise up, virabhadrasana. And uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, deep bow to your legs. Inhale, rise up. Little back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise. Descend. So tone your inner arches and your inner thighs. Curl down. Complete the exhale. There's your exhale pause. And then inhale, glide your heart forward. Okay, left toes back, please. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Okay, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, rising warrior. Exhale, windmill your arms down and bookend your back foot as you pivot the heel up. Inhale, step backwards, downward dog pose. Exhale, glide forward, plank pose. Inhale, seal pose, step over 1 foot at a time, and the toes are pointed. Exhale, glide forward, cobra pose. Yeah, good. And then inhale, roll up, seal pose. So make the arms strong, set your shoulders back. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog. And exhale, left foot forward. Press into your right toes. Inhale, glide up, crescent lunge. So no sense of hanging on the front thigh. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Turn your left hand skyward. Inhale to go up. Yeah, beautiful. And then exhale, windmill your arms and pick up the back heel. Inhale, step forward. And exhale to bow towards your legs. Okay, inhale, rise up, Urdhva. Bring your hips just in line with your toes, little standing back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, inhale again, continuous. Utkatasana. Okay, this time inhale, go up to your tiptoes. Exhale, come down to Uttanasana. Place the heels slowly down so it's not clumsy and you're not in a hurry. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back. Okay, now inhale to rise, crescent lunge. exhale, warrior two. Keep everything stable and just inhale, pick up your right heel. So you're tippy-toeing. And then exhale, lay your right heel down, side angle pose. Inhale, windmill your arms up, pick up your right heel, warrior two. Exhale, lay the heel down, parsakonasana. Inhale, glide up, lift your right heel, tone the pelvic floor, lengthen the inner thigh. Exhale, once more, side angle pose. Now staying in side angle pose, inhale, pick up your left heel. And then exhale, root into your left heel from your hip, reach back and back into your left heel to the ground. Again, inhale, raise your left heel. And exhale, reach from your left hip through your thigh bone to your shin to your heel. One more time, please. Inhale. And exhale to root. And inhale, rise up, warrior two. Okay, exhale, prasarita, padottanasana. Inhale, glide your heart forward, excuse me. And exhale, deep bow, prasarita, padottanasana. Inhale, heart forward once more. And exhale, glide over, basic lunge. Inhale, downward dog. Okay, exhale to plank pose. Things are symmetrical now. Inhale to seal pose. Exhale, cobra pose, bhujangasana. Inhale, rise up, seal pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And left foot forward. So press into your right toes, establish that as an anchor. Inhale, rise, crescent. Warrior two. Okay, inhale, pick up the left heel. So the top of the femur goes down slightly when you do that. Keep this stable and long. And then exhale, place your left forearm on the upper thigh. Inhale, rise up, lift your left heel. Exhale, parsakonasana. Inhale, glide up. Good. One more time, exhale. Now here you are. I'd like you to inhale, pick up your right heel. Press down from your left forearm into your left thigh. Exhale, root into your right heel. So you get this little bit of height when you inhale to pick up your right heel. Try to keep that sense of length so that as you root your right heel back down, it's like you're lengthening like a telescope. One more time, inhale, lift your right heel. And then exhale, reach it back. And then inhale, rise up, warrior two. I just lost my place. And then exhale, prasarita, padottanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, prasarita, padottanasana. And inhale, glide forward. And then rotate, pick up your back heel, basic lunge. Inhale, float forward. And exhale to bow over your legs. And inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. And hands to the heart. You stand really still. See if it's possible. You could stand over the bones being stacked without gripping your muscles. You may, if you close the eyes, you might sense that there are several rhythms in your body. Maybe even like a little feeling of a sway or a concentric rotation. Remind yourself not only that you're well enough to be here, but you're here and dedicated to increasing your vitality, your awareness, your sensitivity to life, to yourself and others. And take a wide stance in the jazz dance warm-up pose, please. So turn your toes out, come down. Okay, press out against both knees here. So you can sense the inner thighs, that would be my guess, some movement through here. And I'd like you to keep the pressure from your shoulders, arms, and hands out against your knees. Make the Ujjayi breath a central focus now. And as you inhale, pick up your right heel. That will change the shape of the pelvic floor. Exhale, lower your right heel down. Inhale, lift your left heel. Keep the pressure strong from both arms to both knees. Exhale, lower down so your left heel is grounded again. Inhale, raise your right heel. At your own pace, continue, please. And I'd like you to really notice not just the ripple effect into the whole body, but really specifically let your attention stay at the pelvic floor. So we have a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere to the pelvic floor. What you can do is notice how the two sides are different when you do this activity, if there are differences. So observe when your right heel stays grounded, what happens to the right hemisphere of the pelvic floor as you lift your left heel. And of course, what happens to the hemisphere of the pelvic floor for the heel side that you're lifting. And do one more time to your left, please. And then press into both heels, include the outer heel, and rise up to standing. Let's go toes in, so feet are parallel. And then step into mountain pose. Yeah. Let's take 2 blocks to sit on. So this is, I'm going to pick up these poses from last week's class too, so you can keep doing them. So the 2 blocks go on this little diamond shape, like this. Mine are not touching. I answered that question yesterday, but you're not all here for every class. So you see there's a space between them. And you're going to sit first in Badakanasana. I'm going to scoot back so you can see a little bit more. So when you're sitting in Badakanasana on the blocks, you're actually sitting on the blocks at the trochanter, the neck of the femur. Your greater trochanter is probably on the blocks as well. So there's like a little massage to that very firm, bony landmark. It's right here, the greater trochanter, wrapping around like that. And so you are on that part of the thigh bone, and then your sitting bone is much closer in. The sitting bones are not touching the blocks. Let's come forward in Badakanasana, please. Okay, so this position, this is symmetrical. So rise up to sitting. Let's take a quick look in here. So the feet are symmetrical, the shins, the thighs, the pelvis are all symmetrical. So what we're going to do right now is return to that chanting practice. And I want you to sense when you get to the end of the exhale, what we're doing is Hari Om. The silence at the end, when the silence is going up, you're still exhaling. The last portion of the exhale. So it should seem to you like you're pacing that Hari Om. That part is 1/4 of your exhale. Om, the next quarter of the exhale. The third quarter of the exhale. And then the silence is the last quarter of the exhale. So like 25, 25, 25% for each. Then you're going to hold the exhale out for a few moments. And the belly and everything should feel toned at that point. Exhale, suspension, and then we'll inhale to start again. And so join your hands together at your heart. Bring your attention inside. Just take a refreshing breath cycle. The purpose of the hands on the heart. You will feel the vibration of Hari Om. And then as the M sound goes up to the roof of the mouth, the vibration is going to move to the upper palate. And it will be more quiet at the sternum. And let's try it. Breathe in, please. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Inhale. Hari Om. Relax. Allow the breath to come. Now put your weight into your left hip and left toes in. So that's called Sidhasana. Turn the right block up to be the medium height and place these. So the trochanter is resting on the top of the block and the sitting bone is on the inside of the block. No real pressure on the sitting bone right now. Okay. All right, inhale, raise your left arm. Cross over. Now, as you hook the left arm over your right knee, reach down towards the floor like prasarita padottanasana, like the shape of the nautilus with the exhale from earlier in class. So this is like a twist and a forward bend at the moment, and intentional compression on your right hip, your right knee, and therefore partly your right ankle as well. And then releasing, inhale, raise your left arm up. And release, walk your right toes to the right. So you're still resting on the block here, on the left block and on the right block. Take the right arm against the inside of your right leg. You can hook the fingers to the outside of your toes and twist to your left. And then slide your right arm down your right shin. Okay, and raise your left arm overhead. For some of you, you're going to find that your right shoulder goes easily to the inside of your right knee. Press your right shoulder back into your right knee. So you are twisting your heart to the left, even as you're side bending to your right. And then raise up. Now put the first two fingers of your right hand against the right toe and see if you can pick the toe up. Okay, and out to the side. Twist to your left. And then rotate around to center and glide your right leg to come forward. Okay, so if you take hold of your heel now, and the way that we do that, for some of us, it means like you're holding a strap. For others, you can hold the heel with both hands. For some people, they take the back of the left hand and then they hold the right wrist like that. Since you're sitting on two blocks, I do want you now to sense that your pelvis actually could be pretty well level. You're not really tipping because the block under your right hip is under the back of your trochanter. So your right sitting bone is not really higher than your left sitting bone at the moment. And then exhale, curl down towards your right leg. I know it's a little bit challenging if the hamstring genetics aren't generous. I understand, even though I have generous hamstrings. Okay, release your right side. Come back to Badakanasana. And see what you can sense about the pelvic floor now. And your hips, right? And maybe even the inner groin and the knees. What do you sense there? Okay, so now lean into your right block and place the left block up on the medium side. And the right foot can come into Sidhasana. Okay, so even sitting here at the moment, you've got this under your trochanter on the left. So that means that your sitting bones are relatively level. Actually, you're not tipping yourself over. It doesn't become a big C shape in the torso to stay upright. You raise your right arm up, cross over, and reach down. So you're in flexion. And then please come upright and walk your left foot to the left. Okay, left arm to the inside. Some of you will find that you can hold the outside edge of your foot, that comes naturally or easily. Now we are having a little C shape because when you reach down, you're closing the left side waist a little bit and opening the right side as you twist to your right. And you can press your left arm against the left thigh and shin to help keep that open. And we're going to take the left shoulder, for those who can, down a little bit further. Maybe you'll hold the toes with your fingers and raise your right arm overhead. It'd be interesting to notice for yourself if the right sitting bone, left sitting bone, they're pretty level, but did the right trochanter pull up off of your block any bit? And could you settle it back down? Yeah, so there's a twist to the right and a side bend to your left. And if you're able to, you can hold the left big toe with your fingers. Raise your right arm out to the side and left leg. Okay, and twist to your right. And then glide your leg forward. Okay, and as you're going up, you may want to just hold onto your foot with your fingers. You might use a yoga strap. You might clasp your hands like this. Some of you will find that you can put the back of your hand and you can hold the opposite wrist. And you sort of curl down towards your left leg. And I know for lots of you, this could be the improvisation of the day. Like maybe you're falling backwards off of your blocks, or the blocks are toppling over. On the other hand, maybe you're keeping yourself steady. So don't lean back to raise your left leg up. Leaning back would tend to put you in a little bit of a skew for the pelvis. It's also a counterbalance. Okay, and then you can glide back down and return to Badakanasana, please. Set up your two blocks so you're going to be comfortable. You're not resting on your sitting bones right now. They are free. And let's come a little bit forward and see, okay, what's happening in the inner body? You can rise back up to sitting, please. Okay, let's put the two blocks. Now, if you bring your knees up where you are on the blocks, you're going to have you're resting on the greater trochanter. So the sitting bones are not touching the floor, neither is the tailbone nor the pubic bone. But if you bring the knees up, now you've got these beveled edges of the blocks kind of massaging the juicy bits between the trochanter and the sitting bones. So if you do want to give a little bit more massage, you can roll back. Yes, very exciting. You can roll forward. I know, the corners of the blocks, I hope they're not in a painful spot for you. And you can consider then balancing in boat pose. Also an improvisation. Even if the improvisation is required, like the legs, the toes, what's happening in the belly, the pelvis. You cross your ankles and push up to Uttanasana with the ankles crossed. And then bend your knees, come back down, change the cross of the ankles, and push up to Uttanasana with the ankles crossed. And then uncross the ankles, rise up to standing. So my guess is that if you had started the morning with the ankles crossed Uttanasana, you would have felt a lot of nerve sensation down the outside of your thighs. And you probably had less of that because of where we just were in the practice. So please take a blanket now and your bolster. And one block. So place the block under the far side of the bolster. Take your blanket and fold it length to length. And place this on your bolster. You make a little on-ramp right there with the blanket. Okay, so we're going to be lying back. The legs will be on the ground by themselves without support underneath them, to give your femurs a chance to be grounded. If you have a sandbag, it's a good morning for that. Let me show where the sandbag goes. Okay, so you sit in front of this setup. When you lie backwards, my hope is that where you put the block under the bolster, it's pretty well under your head. Make a tiny curl of your blanket or your cervical spine, and then take the sandbag and it goes on the top of the thighs. Curl the shoulders under and then palms face down. Okay, so this is to help now the work we were doing in the pelvis to settle. So the hips get heavy, and this Shavasana will lead to another pranayama. So I want you to be very dedicated to the Shavasana, to be a time of deep quiet. So make the neck curl so that you have some support at the occipital ridge, and that feels nurturing. Not such a big neck roll that you feel like your head is gazing down towards the heart right now. Let the shoulders melt back towards the floor. My hope is that your forearms are touching the floor. If they aren't, you could put a blanket under each forearm so there is support there. Now, as you close your eyes, rest your awareness over the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows, and imagine a quality of melting right there. You're kind of entering the central channel through this doorway, as it were. And imagine the pineal gland getting the message that right now you're resting, and the master gland of the body can be at ease. And invite that ease to come down into your sinuses. The space behind your eyes. Inside the bones of your nose, the eye sockets, the sinus cavity under the cheeks, and come down to the roof of the mouth, the back of your throat. Welcome there to be ease in these regions as well. Soften the hinge of your jaw and the major muscle of your tongue. And relax the skin surrounding your throat and your neck. And welcome the inner experience of the throat to be smooth and easeful. Allow that ease to continue down from your throat towards your heart. And soften the heart and your collarbones, the weight of your shoulders and your upper arms. And welcome that melting to go down to the solar plexus, the third chakra. Invite the floating ribs to relax. And for this ease to travel down into the lower region of your abdomen and towards your pelvic floor. Allow the legs to get heavy. And even for the toes, the space between the toes to be at ease. welcoming your mind to remain steady and quiet. Only remove the sandbag. Notice the absence of the weight of the sandbag on your lap. Bend your knees. Okay, I'm going to ask you now to do inhale first, middle, and upper, to inhale suspension, brief. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze. And then no inhale coming. No inhale coming. You'll have exhale to squeeze, squeeze. You're going to release the squeeze. The exhale suspension vacuum will happen. You're going to add to that vacuum by making a pretend inhalation. So let's do it together. So inhale first, middle, and upper. Brief suspension. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. Holding the exhale out, squeeze the muscles. Then release the squeeze, no inhale. Add a pretend inhale. Release the bandhas. Inhale smoothly. And try that once more in this position. So inhale first, middle, upper. Brief suspension. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. Squeezing the exhale out. You're going to squeeze, squeeze. Hold the exhale out. Release the squeeze. Make a pretend inhale. Release the bandhas. And then inhale smoothly. And transition to sit upright and to feel the influence of that. So exhale suspension is really helpful for promoting a meditative state because of what it does in the inner body and the physiology. And join your hands together at your heart. You may, of course, continue to sit. We're just ending formally at our scheduled time. So thank you for being here. Namaste. I will come up to see you closer. Hi. And how is your experience with the exhale pause at the end there, the suspension?